Hey, what is up, mortals? Welcome to part 4 season 1. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. We left off from when Deku was at the Usch fighting the Nama with all might. Izuku was getting ready to go to class. A couple of days have passed since the USJ incident. The school wanted to give the students time to recover. Midoriya's arm was already healed by Recovery Girl the day of the USJ. Midoriya gets to class seeing that the USJ incident is still on the news and that the police and press have been questioning Shigaraki, and he was sent to Tartarus prison. Midoriya arrives in class. His classmates are talking about the attack too, and Kaminari mentions that they feel like celebrities. To which Jiru says, "Get over yourself, they are only interested in the hero course being attacked." Aizawa comes in the class saying, "Good morning everybody. I hope you are all ready because your fight isn't over yet." The whole class is worried. They wonder if more villains are going to attack. Aizawa then elaborates, "We are going to start training for the sports festival, a rare opportunity to get scouted by pro heroes all over the country. That will only come 3 times in your lifetime." After class, Midoriya, Ochako and Ida have a conversation on why they want to be heroes. After Ochako tells her reason for wanting to be a hero, Midoriya thinks she is the most grounded out of all of them. The 3 are going to go to lunch, but All Might comes and asks Midoriya if he wants to have lunch with him. Midoriya goes have lunch with Midoriya, and they have a conversation about how Midoriya is improving with his use of One for All. All Might mentions that the Sports Festival is coming up soon and Midoriya need to present himself proudly to the world and say, "I am here." The next few days the whole class spends training for the sports festival. While everybody else focuses on training their quirks, Midoriya just spends his time trying to improve his control of One for All. The day before the sports festival, when the students are going home, they find a crowd of people in front of their class blocking the exit. Bakugo threatens them and he leaves. Shinsu comes by and says that they may be taking the spot of people in the sports festival if they do well enough. The day of the sports festival arrives, and before it starts, Todoroki declares war on Midoriya, saying, "You have the NR1 hero in your corner. As the son of the NR2 hero, I will defeat you." Midoriya nods and says, "Well, Todoroki, everybody including all the other departments are giving it their all and I won't be doing any less than them. I am going to win, Todoroki." They go to the arena, and in the inauguration Bakugo is asked to say a few words. He says, "I just want to say I'm going to win." To the backlash of everyone who isn't in the sports festival, the first event is announced and it's a 4 kilometers race around the stadium. Everybody gets ready because the race is about to start. President Mike counts down. 3, 2, 1, begin. Everybody starts running and President Mike asks Aizawa, "What do you think is the thing to pay attention in the first stages of the race?" Aizawa just answers, "The door." The robots come out as Todoroki is in the lead. Todoroki freezes the ground, freezing every contestant he can and freezing the robots of balance. He keeps running past the robots and making them fall on the other students. Midoriya, who evaded the robot and sees it falling, instinctively jumps up and using 5% of his power smashes the robot, throwing him in the opposite direction. He lands and continues running, being in second place now. He keeps up the 5% power and moves it to his legs to go faster, catching up to Todoroki by the time they get to the second obstacle. Todoroki notices him catching up and tries to freeze Midoriya in place. Midoriya evades most of the ice but eventually gets stuck in the middle of the obstacle. Todoroki pulls ahead as Bakugo is catching up to them. Midoriya looks back and sees other students coming. He then decides to use a Detroit Smash to break the ice he is trapped in and free himself, and starts going towards Todoroki with Bakugo in front of him now. He reaches the third obstacle and sees Todoroki and Bakugo right in front of him. He decides to just jump over the minefield and uses 100% power to jump over the minefield. He leaves a big crater in the ground and just zooms by Todoroki and Bakugo. He goes so fast that he reaches the finish line and crashes against a wall in the stadium. He is then sent to the infirmary to heal until the next round starts. The rest of the people end the same way they do in the anime. The second event is announced, a cavalry battle. Midoriya has 1,000,000 points and is instantly avoided by everybody until Ochako decides to pair up with him. Midoriya is approached by Mei Hatsune wanting to get the most spotlight she can. Midoriya then goes to Ida wanting to team up with him, but Ida thinks on what Todoroki said and declines. Midoriya then comes up with a plan B and gets Takoyami on his team, and they decide to run away the whole event in order to protect the 1,000,000 points. The event goes pretty much like in the anime. Small exception, since Midoriya can use One for All without breaking his bone, he manages to keep everybody away using 5% of One for All, and at the end of the cavalry battle Midoriya's team manages to claim victory, and they claim victory. Todoroski group ends up second, Bakugo's team ends third, and Shinsu's team ends fourth. However, Ajiro and Nyaranjiki showed a forfeit because of the mind control, and Tetsu and Ibara Shizaki get bumped up to the tournament. The fights are announced and Midoriya has to fight Shinsu now. Before the fight actually starts, Ajiro warns him not to answer any of Hince's questions, as that is how he brainwashes people. Midoriya reflexes a bit on this and gets ready to the fight. The fight starts and Shinsu starts insulting Midoriya, which doesn't work. Midoriya gets ready to attack thinking he doesn't need one for all in this fight. Then Shinsu starts insulting Ajiro and Midoriya reacts, getting brainwashed. Shinsu tells Midoriya to be a good little hero and to step out of bounds. Midoriya tries to resist but is unsuccessful. Shinsu starts talking about his life. As Midoriya starts getting closer and closer to getting out of bounds, he starts having strange visions. He sees about 8 people in the door and a strange feeling starts overwhelming him. He activates one for all in his fingers and flicks them, creating massive wind pressure, even stronger than in the anime. He then turns to Shinsu and runs at him. This time he decides Shinsu is a threat and without responding to a single word of Shinsu's taunting punches Shinsu out of bounds by hitting Shinsu with 5% of one for all. Midoriya wins and passes to the next round. The next few fights end the same as they do in the anime. Todoroki beats Shiro by a landslide. Kaminari loses to Ibara. They forfeits after toying with Ida and using him to advertise her inventions. Ashido beats Aoyama. Takoyami beats Yaoyorozu. And unfortunately Uraraka loses against Bakugo. After a draw, Kirishima beats Tetsu in an arm wrestle. The second round starts. The first fight is Midoriya versus Todoroki. Before the fight starts, Midoriya finds Endeavor in the hallway and talks to him. They have pretty much the same exchange they do in the anime. The fight actually starts. Todoroki starts by trying to freeze Midoriya in place. Midoriya counters by throwing a 5% Delaware smash at Todoroki, breaking the ice. This cycle repeats a couple of times. Then Midoriya tells at Todoroki, "You know you haven't laid a single scratch on me. Use your fire, Todoroki. We are all giving our best to be able to win. It is only fair that you do the same." Todoroki, hearing this, asks Midoriya, "Did my father put you up to this? Is he bribing you or something? I have told him 1,000 times I am not going to use his quirk." Midoriya then shouts at Todoroki, "You don't understand. It's your power, Todoroki, not his." Todoroki tells Midoriya, "Okay, just remember you asked for this." As he activating his fireside, he smiles at Midoriya and starts attacking him with everything he has. This is the point when the fight really starts, as everybody in the stands is watching on the edge of their seats. They see Todoroki throwing combination of ice and fire at Midoriya as he evades every single attack and takes opportunity of the small intervals between Todoroki's attacks to attack himself. Attacks which Todoroki blocks with his ice. Midoriya tells Todoroki, "You won't be able to beat me like that." Todoroki with a smile on his face, and they both get ready for a full-scale attack. Midoriya throws a Detroit Smash at 100% power and Todoroki uses a Flash Freeze Heatwave. Both attacks collide, creating a huge explosion that knocks both Midoriya and Todoroki out of bounds and ends up knocking them both out, resulting in a tie. The next few fights occur. Ida beats Ibara. Kirishima loses to Bakugo and Takoyami beats Ashido. The rematch with Midoriya and Todoroki also is, for simplicity, an arm wrestle, which Midoriya easily wins using one for all that enhances his strength. The semifinals start. Ida versus Midoriya. They both respect each other and in this scenario see each other as rivals. The fight starts and Ida tries to end it quick by pushing him out of bounds. Sadly, this plan fails as Midoriya reacts too fast and jumps over Ida and punches Ida in the back using a 3% smash. This, coupled with the momentum Ida had accumulated, throws Ida out of bounds, giving Midoriya the victory. The fight of Bakugo versus Takoyami ends the same, with Bakugo claiming victory. The finals, Bakugo versus Midoriya. A fated battle between rivals, a rematch for the ages. Bakugo starts the fight throwing a giant explosion at Midoriya, which Midoriya manages to evade. Midoriya, before the fight started, tried to think of ways to beat Bakugo in a fight, not coming up with any that don't involve him going at least at 100%. So that is what Midoriya does. Bakugo doesn't let Midoriya get close, knowing that if Midoriya does he will lose, so he tries to keep the battle range. At a certain point, Bakugo shoots a huge explosion at Midoriya. Midoriya at the same time throws a Delaware Smash at the same time, negating the explosion. Deku then leaps from out of the smoke throwing a 100% Detroit Smash. Bakugo evades the hit barely, but the wind pressure throws him away. Midoriya then leaps after Bakugo. While Midoriya is in the, Bakugo throws the biggest explosion he can to take advantage of the moment and manages to abruptly throw Midoriya out of bounds, winning the battle. Bakugo then realizes, wait, that shouldn't be possible. Those hits didn't hurt as much as last time. He was holding back, and runs at Midoriya screaming at him. Midnight at this point uses her quirk and makes him fall asleep. Later at the prize-giving ceremony, Bakugo is tied up like in the anime, because he feels he got a false victory. Midoriya ended second place and Ida and Takoyami end third. Although Ida has to rush to the hospital, so isn't there. All Might jumps in and gives the winners a small speech. He tells Takoyami that he did well. Tells Midoriya that congratulations and thanks for doing what I asked of you. Thank you, young Midoriya. He also tells Bakugo that he did exactly what he said he was going to do. but Bakugo just lashes out saying that it wasn't a true victory. Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that We the Celestials has many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video, so goodbye and have a divine day.